racing enthusiasts, are you ready to take your sim racing experience to the next level? Look no further because 29 Graphics has got you covered. Introducing 29 Graphics, the premier provider of high-quality sim racing wraps. Whether you're a professional racer or weekend warrior, our custom design wraps will make your car stand out from the competition. 29 Graphics is now the official graphics design partner of Saturday Night Racing League.
It's a big diving water might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, he put him in the wall, they're gonna crash! They both crash!
Contact 29 Graphics on their Discord or the link in the video description.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
What is up, everyone? I am Joshua Banks, driver of the number 35 Matco Tool Supra.
Comes back, he's gonna send it to the inside. They're 3 wide for the race lead. They're gonna Sean Banks is gonna win it. Unbelievable.
And also co-owner of M&J Distributors for the sponsor of Saturday Night Racing. So I just want to thank every single one of you for tuning into tonight's race. I hope you will put on a good show for you guys. I hope that you will enjoy it. So if you do, make sure you drop a thumbs up to B-Speed and subscribe to them because they, as y'all know, if you haven't already, they put on some great broadcasts. So I'll make this short and sweet. The main reason for sponsoring Saturday Night Racing League is because I've been with these guys for a long time. I've raced with a lot of them. I've been through some rough times, some good times, and arguments and everything like that. But still, grand scheme of things, been through a lot of these guys, and I really do like where this league's going. I want to support it. They've given a lot to the league already, and I think, you know, I'm capable to support back. So that's what we're doing, and we want to keep this league free, you know, for people to join, to have a good time, come in and race and just have fun, you know, and that's what we're all about. So that's the main reason, and that's all I really have to say about it. So I hope you do enjoy the race, enjoy the season coming up. We are hopefully going to put on a great season for you guys. Also, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Banksy the iRacer. Link will be in the description. Check out, and you can see my point of view, see what's happening on my end. If you want to watch it, it's completely fine. If not, no big deal. So come on over, hang out after the broadcast of this race, and hopefully we'll see you over there. If not, enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on track.
Lap traffic out of the way. It's between these two. They're even for the white flag lap.
This race still very undecided.
Bradley had the lift. Big run for McWhorter. This is going to be his chance.
They're running out of time, and they know it. Horsepower at their feet.
That was a huge run for Bradley. He got back the advantage, but here comes a big dive. McWhorter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, he put him in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash. Here comes Ray Massey. Ray Massey's going to win it.
Picking up right where we left off from the Challenger Series, it's another 1.5 miles, but this one a little further east. Live from Joliet, Illinois, and the virtual CHICAGOLAND Speedway, it's the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series live on V-Speed and presented by M&J Distributors. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. Alongside me in the booth, Connor Horn. Connor, we have seen a number of changes here with the points, and we have a repeat winner now with the 24 getting his second win. A lot has changed since your vacation there last week, but now here we go. It's more of the same here for SNR. We don't know who's going to be the champion all the way up to the end of the season.
All the way up to the end of a regular season. He's still got 3 more races to go before we lock in those top 12 drivers for the chase. Chicagoland tonight, then Richmond and Atlanta. That regular season finale is just 2 weeks away at those high banks. Currently, Alex Bell leads the standings, but it's only a 5-point gap to Mark Whitley, who's been fairly consistent this season. Jeff Wright trying to get his second title. Taylor Butcher-Benjamin in 4th is a big surprise. He hasn't been up the front a lot this season, but consistent enough to be top 5. Hutton is only 13 points back. Those top 3 really separated from the rest of the field. Then you got Lakatos, McWhorter, Banks separated by 4 points. Bailey Turner with 2 wins, all the way down 9th. Not consistent for him. And Jeremy Miller with his win at Kansas, 10th in the points. Brewer and Carwell, the final drivers in. Radford, Chambliss, Hodges, Koss, all those drivers back there still with a chance to point in. But you got to have good points tonight, or else you're really not going to have a lot of help in the next 2 weeks.
And worth mentioning, Alex Bell, his first win here in Saturday Night Racing. He's going to put himself up there 5 points ahead of Mark Whitley. Quick look at your race analysis as we get set to go green. 140 laps here tonight at Chicagoland. 45-mile-per-hour pit road speed limit. 4 tire sets available. And 80% fuel on that iRacing fixed setup. 3 green-white checkered attempts. We had to use one of those just a moment ago in the Challenger Series. But with that, let's take a look at your starting lineup. 39 cars to start the day here tonight. And starting on the pole, it's the number 48, Jeff Wright, a 31.535. Well, I tell you what, Jeff Wright favored to win here tonight, but Nathan Ferrata got the win there at Kansas. He'll start to the outside. Row number 2 belongs... Well, let's fix that. There we go. Joseph McWhorter and Bailey Turner will start 3rd and 4th position. Row number 3 goes to Angela Horonis. Morgan Cook, V-Speed's very own, will start in the 6th position. 7th spot, Alex Bell with the baby on board. He'll start in the 7th spot. 8th goes to Reggie Ortega. And rounding out your top 10, it's Ray Massey and AJ Stravato.
And just outside the top 10, you have Mark Whitley, who's always a threat at any track on this circuit. He'll start 11th, 2nd in points. Philip Brewer, who's on the cut line, 12th in the position tonight. That's where he will start in the 44. Ryan Carwell, 13th, alongside Jeremy Miller, who already has a win on a mile half this season, at 14th. Brian Chambliss, 15th, with Chuck Sweeting alongside him with the pink numbers for Breast Cancer Awareness Month in 16th. Logan Threlkeld in the 17th position alongside Case Lakatos, who's right on that playoff cut line, or that chase cut line. And then Joshua Banks, rare poor qualifying effort, he's back in 19th alongside Kyle Peacock in the 83, starts 20th.
Halfway through this field, Eric Hutton and Jerry Bergeron, 21st and 22nd. Dakota Floyd and Jace Cully making his second race here in the Saturday Night Racing League. Then it's Bryce Shoemaker and Matthew Radford, 25th and 26th. 27th, Robert Denton, Jonathan Smith. Then it's Joe Spinelli, Taylor Butcher-Benjamin for 30th.
Then Nick Wood, number 39. We almost saw Ford go to victory lane in real life, but he'll start 31st. John Sinu will start in 32nd position. Mark McFadden, Keith Shoemaker, 33rd and 34th. McFadden in the Yankees Ford Mustang. Eddie Trejo, the first driver not to put a qualifying time down, 35th. Christopher Hodges, 36th. And then Max Cost, Austin Belkey will start 37th and 38th. And this 39-car field will be rounded out by Benjamin Richards.
Richards down there on the apron as we go one more lap here to get the 1-to-go signal. 48 of Jeff Wright has been dominant here in the past. This is a multi-groove racetrack, Connor. No right or wrong way to get around this place. It's whatever you're comfortable with, and it's kind of like the last of the Mohicans when it comes to multi-groove racing. We're kind of seeing iRacing shy away from that more line derivative at a lot of these mile and a halves. But here tonight, I look to see a lot of multi-groove racing, a lot of people 3 wide. What do you think?
I think with the track temp being as high as it is, we'll definitely see some drivers moving around the track for sure. I think you'll see people on the bottom to start this race. As the race goes on, as the tires wear out and more rubber gets put down on this racetrack, you'll see that high line come into play more and more as the race goes on. And that track temp's only going to get higher and higher with the sim time around 2:30 in the afternoon. You'll almost certainly see it get hotter just because we have 40 cars on the track. So we'll see drivers next to that Brant wall entering turn 3, even with the bumps in turns 3 and 4 on the top. And you'll see people riding the bottom at the end of this race as well. We saw last season 2 different lanes going for the win. No, neither of those drivers got the win last season. We'll see how wild it gets at the end this time around.
Jeff Wright going to lead him into turn 1. The pace car is going to get out of the way for the first time today. Who's got the goods for the 3rd to last race in the regular season? Jeff Wright on the loud pedal. Here we go racing from Chicagoland. Position. You can see the multi-group racing just behind Jeff Wright here as they're 3 wide offset coming out of 2.
We saw a slide by Jared Bergeron, corner number 2. He saved it last lap though, as we're already seeing drivers trying to get track position early. 3 wide, Jeremy Miller, Chambliss in the middle, Brewer on the top. We have 2 Zen Camaros in the field this week. This time Brewer's on the top, but I believe a different scheme than what he normally runs, as Miller's trying to get up to the front in a hurry. They're kind of sorting that 3 wide out as Jeff Wright keeps the lead.
1/10 of a second over the 73 for Jeff Wright. Stretches it out to 2/10 of a second as they go down the backstretch. Continuously turning left here. Right on board with Jeremy Miller. You'll see all the way around this place, even the backstretch is a little bit curved. And that's what's different here about this 1.5 miles as compared to Kansas. You can put them down as sister tracks, but the backstretch, you're constantly wearing tires around this place, and as opposed to Kansas where it kind of chews up tires unless you're on the outside or on the bottom, which is slower, this place is just going to chew them out equally.
There's not much you can do to save tires. Running the bottom naturally will still help them a little bit, but it's not going to make that much of a difference as far as how fast you go on these tires. You're going to be all over the place for a long time here, and it's not even a guarantee that these tires make it to the fuel window, which is probably somewhere in the lap 40 to 45 range, somewhere around there. So definitely a 2-stop today, maybe even a 3-stop if we see the wear get extreme. This is a track that's, you know, kind of notable for having a lot of fall off. Even when it's a night race, you'll see a lot of fall off in Xfinity cars here. So Chevrolet's got to be very, very careful.
There's a lap around Chicagoland with Jeremy Miller. We'll look up front here. Challenge for the lead starting to heat up a little bit. Nathan Ferrata has fallen back to Mark Whitley as that pass is completed out of the tri-oval. The 77 will work his way up to the 3rd spot. Up 8 positions already for Mark Whitley.
Yeah, he's one of the bigger movers today for sure. He's the only driver outside the top 10, starting outside the top 10 to get to the top 10. Ryan Carwell's trying to join him, but he's not to Angelo Horonis quite yet. Some other drivers have moved up 6 spots, like Jonathan Smith, for example. Taylor Butcher Benjamin's moved up 3 spots. Eddie Trejo's up 5 spots. There's drivers like Bergeron, who had that slide, who's back 13 spots. And this field is separated by already 10-11 seconds from the 1st place all the way to 39th place. You're already starting to see some drivers go up to the high side. You see McWhorter and Whitley running, 2 teammates running up that higher line while Jeff Wright continues to paint the white line.
McWhorter challenged for the lead there briefly. He had it coming out of turn 4, gave it back. That run on the outside from Jeff Wright. You hear a little bit of play on the throttle to try to keep this thing settled, and that probably has to go back to what you talked about in the pre-race, the 114 degrees track temperature. It's going to make it rather difficult to lay this horsepower down. you're going to have to really feather the throttle to keep it underneath of you.
Can't just mash it. You mash the throttle, you're spinning out, or you're going to put yourself in the outside wall because you gassed it up too early. So you definitely got to play with it a little bit. Use the seams to your advantage. You get a little bit more sideways there. So if you can time your throttle up just right, you get a little more grip out of that. As Wright continues to be conservative towards the bottom, but McWhorter's going to go to the bottom this time. I think Jeff Wright knows it's going to be a harder pass on the bottom than it is the top side, so he's going to 473 the short way around, although theoretically it's going to be the harder way around, as McWhorter's not going to make it work, as it's going to give Mark Whitley a big run to get that second position, or try to get that second position away. So Jeff Wright knows what he has to do to save the tires, but he clearly does not want to give up his right rear as he chopped the nose of the 77 there.
Keeping them at bay here. Both of the Harpoon design machines running right, second and third, just behind the 48. They've caught up and pulled away. Murata is about 4/10 behind this battle as they come out of turn 2. 10 laps. 9.5 as they go down the backstretch. Got another mover on the works here, and that is Jonathan Smith, another one of those Harpoon design cars. Started all the way back in the 28th position, up 8 spots now, working on the top 20.
Moved up just a little bit. He might be our biggest mover besides Whitley. Whitley's up 9 positions. Smith is up 8 positions. Really no one else has been able to move quite like these two have, and Whitley was able to do it. Oh, in the wall and behind. I think I saw Chase Cully get in the wall, but meanwhile this battle for the lead's hot. The 48 gave up his right rear. Whitley trying to stay up there. Wright's trying to pull the slide job. They're going to almost make contact there, but Whitley did a good job keeping it under control, and now he's in a position he wants to be as he'll lead his first lap of the night.
The first lead change of the night goes to 10 spots gained. Whitley quickly falls back though, and Jeff Wright playing a great job on the middle line. Wow, that was close off the exit of 2.
Now we'll see what Whitley wants to do here. Does he go to the bottom? No, he's going to go back to the top side and just make sure he keeps that position. So Jeff Wright's going to say, all right, you have the position. That's all good. I'll run the bottom. I'll keep my tires nice and cool and get you before we even have to come down to pit lane. So I think this is Jeff Wright at this point probably conceding position.
Adrian Ferrata has caught back up as well. Slowly accordions back towards his top 3. Saw last time by, fastest car on the racetrack in that clean air was Mark Whitley, but not too far behind him, Alex Bell. Identical lap times on board with the 15.
15, pretty decent. He's been pretty solid at these 1.5 miles as well. He has not budged from that 7th position, even with the different logos on board at this point. But you can see still more and more people running the bottom than the top at this point. Really, those Harpoon Designs teammates are the only ones committed to that top side, even for the short term right now. You can see Ferrata's even going to the bottom. Jeff Wright's actually kind of entering a little middle and exiting a little bit lower. And I think Whitley kind of chopped down on exit. I see Logan Threlkeld, or excuse me, Philip Brewer, another driver's kind of run that high side, but still majority of drivers paying that white line, not even wanting to risk running close to that wall yet.
Adrian Ferrata works his way up to the 3rd spot now. He comes out of turn 2, chasing down Jeff Wright. A little bit faster last time by, 0.2 of a second, 0.3 of a second roughly. 0.7, picking up right where he left off in the Challenger Series at Kansas. Looking to try to go back-to-back. Nobody has done that yet. Not a single driver has won both the Challenger Series and the Cup Series. And with the limited driver list, there is an iRating cap, Connor. We talked about a little bit there in the preseason, very first race, but it's capped at 3,500 for the Cup Series, so it's a challenge for these drivers in the Challenger Series. See what I did there?
Yes, I did. And sooner or later, Ferrata will probably be out of that range to even run that, because he's been fast in the later races as well, and he's been a consistent contender on short runs in this series as well. But the long run pace is what's been his issue in this Cup Series, and he just needs to own in on that and be prepared to run long runs and keep the tires in good shape for those long runs. Once again, we're not really at a long run. We might be maybe close to halfway on our fuel tank at this point, and he's charging forward, but 10 laps from now, it could be a completely different story. So he's got to keep the right front, right rear. He's got to keep it all under control so he can stay in the top 5 instead of driving up to 3rd and dropping back to 15th.
Our only repeat winner of the season, Bailey Turner in the 24 car. He is now in the 5th spot. Started in 4th, but slowly working his way back towards his top 4. It's like some of these drivers kind of did what they did last season. Very tight there for the 73 McWhorter.
Yeah, he went to the bottom that time, and he gassed up trying to get close to clearing the 07. It just did not happen, so he's already seeming that he's starting to feel the effects of her on the high side as Bailey Turner almost shut the door on the 73, but couldn't quite do it. But it ruined McWhorter's momentum just enough that he had to concede that spot. So that's the 4th position changing hands here, as Whitley's not really struggling as much as the 73 is. He is putting a gap on Jeff Wright, at least a little bit. As you can see how close this is out of turn number 4. Turner kind of half cleared him up, but it made the 73 think about getting out of the gas, and evidently he did a little bit. Turner got the position done because of that, as McWhorter's now back to 5th. Reggie Ortega 6th, then Bell, Massey, Stravato, and Philip Brewer still in the top 10.
A little bit of a moment there for the 73 as well. He got a little bit loose there. Fall back to the 5th position. Reggie Ortega is tracking him down in the 2 car. A solid day thus far for the 2 machine. Started in 8th, he's gained 2 spots. On track with the pace to catch up to these leaders.
He's always kind of a sneaky pick for these types of races. Had that win at Daytona season or 2 back and hasn't been able to get his 2nd quite yet, but he's always been having top 10, top 15 speed. Another one, he's trying to get to the white line, but as this run gets on, the right front gets worn more. It gets harder and harder to pin down next to that white line to get an extra grip from the paint. And if you don't get to that white line, you're just giving up a lot of extra time. It'd almost be better just to commit to the high side, both ends of a track, instead of trying to get to the bottom and missing it. You lose yourself a lot of time. So sooner or later, you got to commit a one end of the track, or one lane on the different parts of the track, instead of trying high one and one bottom. He's going to do the same thing again. You can see he's just not quite getting down there, as you can see from the onboard of the 33 or the 23, whichever one it is. That's this 23 very Massey on board with, but you can see right there Ortega just kind of came half a groove off that white line, and it's costing him time.
See the top 4 down on the bottom of the racetrack, nose to tail. Bailey Turner trying to chase them down. A battle behind here for the 10th spot. Angelo Baronis taking offense to Philip Brewer. And Angelo Baronis is down 6 spots. Maybe a little conservative to start this race out. He lost a ton of ground, now trying to get it back.
He's in a Mustang. I believe the last time I saw him, he was in a Supra, but a little bit of a manufacturer change as he's trying to get those positions back, as you're starting to see the battle of a lead come back to being close once again. Whitley got to about half a second ahead. Jeff Wright has started to reel him back in a little bit here, as the 29 is going to stay in the 11th position, as the 48, that Wild Cherry Pepsi Zero Sugar machine. Oh no, it's just Pepsi Zero Sugar. There's no Wild Cherry flavor on it this week, but that 48 is starting to reel him in, but also Nathan Ferrata is also keeping pace with these top 2.
Keeping Jeff Wright honest from the 3rd spot. You see back from the 77 of Whitley. A lot of hungry cars behind him, trying to take away this lead, and very loose out of the exit of 4. 77 going to lead another time. This time, 14 laps led. We're starting at halfway point in the run. This stint probably going to stretch out, like you said, about 43 to 45 laps. It's going to be maybe even a 3-stop race, but they've stayed green with 39 cars thus far.
And track position is really important for getting on pit entry under green. You would love to have that extra position and have that clean air and no one in front of you to deal with for your pit entry and not have to deal with their pit entry. So getting this lead away before you peel down the pit lane would be really important for the 48 to get, as Ferrata is now starting to lose some pace to these top two, but they're going to start the battle and bring that 07 back into things as Whitley got oh so close to that outside wall. Ferrata, Turner, and Warder in the top 5 as Ortega has not been able to really catch that 73 as much as I thought he might be able to. They're still racing all over the track as well. You got Angelo Horonis still kind of going backwards, but Joshua Banks is trying to come forwards a little bit. He started 19th. He has climbed up to the 11th position, so now he's up 8 spots.
Just outside of the top 10 for Banks CVI Racer. Premier sponsor with the M&J Distributors. Matco Tools 35 trying to gain whatever he can, a little off in qualifying back to 19th. Off of the camera tonight as well. Had it on board there with the 35 as you see a pass from lead here. Jeff Wright to the inside.
Yeah, I don't think Whitley's going to be able to defend much longer. He ran that middle line in 3 and 4 again. He just did not have the grip to get off the corner. Had to really feather the throttle, and 48's clear of him, but I don't even think Whitley's going to have anything to challenge off the corner, so Jeff Wright back to the front. Whitley might try the crossover. He will. He was just clear of Ferrata, so he barely made that work. Let's see if he tries to slide back up in front of Wright. I don't think he'll be able to do it. You can see him sliding off the bottom, really losing grip. Ferrata might think about 3 wide if he can, as they're going to be dead even off of 4.
Jeff Wright looks like he's going to lead this lap by 1/100 of a second, and Nathan Ferrata is all over the back bumper of these two, and a pinch down into 1, 3 wide, maybe out of 4 or out of 2.
Ooh, they're going to make some contact. Oh, Whitley sideways, and Ferrata gets the worst of it because of that, as Whitley's able to save it. So Jeff Wright's going to keep the lead. Here comes Bailey Turner for 3rd, but I say Ferrata got the worst of it. His car might be fine. I see right rear damage on that 77.
Nathan Ferrata probably not too happy with the 77 sliding up in front of him like that. And he's going to go back on offense here for a second time, 30 laps in. Here comes the 24. Bailey Turner. This top 5 is heated.
That wasn't surprising. Whitley was trying everything he could to keep track
Sideways
position.
again.
And he's still racing really hard to try to keep what he can, but now he's got that right rear damage. It's going to ruin his speed down the straightaways and ruin his downforce, and now he's really going to struggle until he can get down the pit lane whenever he plans on it. So now he's going to go back to 3rd, and he's probably going to lose 4th here.
Living to fight another day. For the 77, it looks like the speed has been tweaked out of that machine. He's trying a different line here. He's going to try to come down the 24. Bailey Turner had the inside, just backed out of it at the last second. Nick Warder has fallen back about half a second from this battle. We have to go all the way back to Ray Massey, and looks like Alex Bell was on the outside there briefly. Now the 35 of Banks looking for 8th position as soon as these two sort it out.
Yeah, 35 definitely has some decent speed as he's trying to get 9th and 8th position from these two. And even further up ahead, Reggie Ortega is now being pressured by AJ Starfato, who just had a big wiggle off of turn number 2. So these battles, even though we have pit stops looming, they're still heating up, and everyone's really close to each other. And that's what makes pitting this early and at this point of the race dangerous, because hitting this close to other drivers could spell really big trouble on entry. It's very easy to mess up and miscommunicate when you're pitting, who's not pitting. So it's very easy to make contact before you even get the pit entry if you're not careful, as that battle for the lead is once again going to heat up. Ferrata's to the inside of Jeff Wright.
This would be our 3rd lead change if Ferrata can take it over. We see our first back-to-back in the Challenger to the Cup Series. Jeff Wright holds on to it for another lap. The 3rd now for the 24.
Yes, he finally just got by Mark Whitley. Whitley struggled with him as long as he could, but he just doesn't really have anything left at this point. If you were going to make it a 3-stop race, lap 35, pitting every 35 laps would split it evenly. So this would be around the time when you'd be getting ready to maybe undercut, come down the pit. Actually shocked no one's come in any earlier than 35, just to maybe undercut a little bit. We'll see if anyone bites the pit entry here. Not this time from anyone in the top 5. to go at least one more lap.
Sanu to the inside of Jace Cully for the 24th spot. This is very deep in the field, but a lot of racing has been going on here. There you see the 43 of Bryce Shoemaker, the 21 of Andy Trejo, the 97 of Matthew Radford. This is for 26th.
Just shows how crazy the battling is throughout this entire field, from the battle for the lead to the battle to just outside the top 25. It's still pretty heavy battling right now, and this is happening 11 seconds behind Jeff Wright, who's the race leader. So Radford, he's kind of slipped back, or he's kind of stayed here. All these drivers have kind of stayed here. Eddie Trejo is the one out of these three who's been moving up. He started 35th, he's up to 28th. As I expected, that lap 35 part, people finally bite the pit, but it's only Mark Whitley.
And Whitley, of course, has that damage on the right rear, so that might have called him in a little bit early as he's losing some time trying to make up for that. See right side's going up on that 77 machine. Looks like left side's as well. More tire sets available.
Saw Joe Spinelli pit as well. It's going to bring in a lot more others. Jeremy Miller from 10th pits. Philip Brewer just slid to pit entry, but he made it. Here comes a lot of drivers, and this is what spells trouble when you have so many drivers pitting at the same time. Threlkeld, Smith, Morgan Cook, Dakota Floyd, they all come to pit entry at the same time.
A lot of the V-Speed drivers coming in together. There's Threlkeld, there's Floyd. And a miss on the stall there for the 12 machine. I got to go ahead and show it to you. We'll go on board with Threlkeld as he gets ready to exit pit road.
Also had more drivers pit. Carlisle and Chuck Sweeting. 28 of... Couldn't see who that 28 was. That's John Sinu, Bryce Shoemaker, Rob Denton. All make plans to get the pit entry, and certainly a look.
Yeah. We saw it earlier in the Challenger Series. Corella DeVille is what he's going for here.
Yeah, I see it.
He had a cat, not a Dalmatian.
Close enough. Another one peels off. That's Angelo Horonis. And he was really fast on entry. Kyle Peacock. Eddie Trejo slides in, as does Jace Cully. Still surprised no one really in the top 5 besides Whitley has pit.
Trejo missed it. Big slide through.
Here comes Ferrata. Yeah, there's a lot. Everyone's been sliding on the pit entry a little bit. Ferrata does the same. Most of these drivers probably have a lot of rear brake in it. Caution is out right as the 07 hit pit entry, and it was for Bryce Shoemaker, I believe, who half spun on pit exit.
First caution of the night. The self spin, a single car incident coming off of pit road. Back on the speed instant replay.
Yeah, I don't think anything else happened. I think it had to be for the 43, although it was off the track. So I'm actually shocked that would have even triggered the iRacing yellow. Trying to look if there was anything else that could have been, but I don't think so. Hard to get out of pit exit. You got cold tires. You got a completely flat apron, and it's easy to lose the grip, and that's what happened. And that really hurts a lot of drivers who just came down and were committing to that 3-stop.
Yeah, I mean, it puts almost half this field a lap down here. Mark Whitley, Jeremy Miller, Philip Brewer, one back. They're now trapped a lap down. That changes the scenario. Whitley, of course, was committed to that 3-stop race. He was right on the money there on lap 35. Jeff Wright, Haley Turner, Joseph McWhorter, they're all going to come down pit road now.
You know, this really is going to get Anathian Ferrata the race lead. He actually stayed on the lead lap. And as long as he can get to the pace car in time, he would cycle out to be the race leader.
Looks like he's going to.
Just got fresh tires. Take the track position. No reason not to. As see if anyone else stays out. I think he had to be one of the few that were able to stay lead lap. Eric Hutton, actually, I believe, was the other one who had hit pit entry before the yellow came out, so he will cycle to second. So that's an even bigger deal for the 88 because he was a little further back. Jeff Wright comes out of pit road first, then Turner, McWhorter, Massey, and Banks.
We're watching race number 8 of the Saturday Night Racing League, live from Chicagoland. More coverage is going to continue. First caution of the night. We'll be back here on V-Speed right after this.
Racing enthusiasts, are you ready to take your sim racing experience to the next level? Look no further because 29 Graphics has got you covered. Introducing 29 Graphics, the premier provider of high-quality sim racing wraps. Whether you're a professional racer or weekend warrior, our custom design wraps will make your car stand out from the competition. 29 Graphics is now the official graphics design partner of Saturday Night Racing League.
It's a big dive. McWhorter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, they put him in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash.
Contact 29 Graphics on their Discord or the link in the video description.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Here live from Chicagoland, Nathan Ferrata got caught on pit road at the exact right time. First caution of the night on lap 39. Puts these guys in a scenario where we have a lead change for the third time today. Ferrata into turn 1.
We noted Bailey Turner was second. He was the lucky dog, so he had to go tail end. But he's ahead of all 17 wave arounds on the track as they're 3 wide in between all those guys as Ferrata's away with the lead. Wright holds on to third. Turner gets second out of that whole deal as McWhorter and Ray Massey will battle for a top 5 position.
There's a McWhorter who challenged for the lead there earlier in this race. Now on even tires. Jeff Wright rolls back to third. Wright has led 25 of the 46 laps complete.
I don't know if there's fuel strategy, but I definitely heard Jeff Wright clutch into the corner in turn number 1 there. So I still don't think you can make it on one stop from here, but maybe he's going to try as here he goes into a clutch again. And he's going to get back on the throttle just that quickly.
Maybe letting the cat out of the bag here. I don't know if anybody else that's trying that will ride on board with Joshua Banks, see if he's clutching. Doesn't appear to be. Here on the outside line. He's going to have the run coming off of turn 2, but he has a car to his inside. Nowhere to go.
Stravado's going to be down there trying to get that position back as Massey's trying to hold on to this top 5 position, but not quite able to really get away from these guys at this point. So it's going to be a really tight battle at this point of the restart when everyone's still packed onto one another. But Ferrada's kind of gotten away from all this. It's already a half-second lead. McWhorter's found his way into third as Jeff Wright, he's probably going to fade at least a little bit here while doing that strategy.
Getting on board with Nick Wood. First time I've said this name, I believe, this season. He's up 18 positions ahead of Christopher Hodges, who is the biggest gainer, up to 14th, 22 spots gained for the 51. But here's the 39, just behind Brian Chambliss in the 13th spot. Goes to him in his debut here at SNR.
17 waiver rounds, which means there was about probably drivers just outside the top 15 that got pretty good, or guys who were caught just outside the top 15 who hadn't pit when the yellow came out that were probably a little further back. So guys like Hodges, Nick Wood, Butcher Benjamin, Chambliss, they were not running very well, but staying out and not committing fully to that 3-stop strategy ends up paying off for him, gets him at least a little bit of track position at this point in the race.
That caution falling the way it did. We went clean and green all the way up to lap 39. And the scenario now with 8 laps on the stint. Saturday Night Racing Cup Series. We had a caution counter, and I'll get those statistics for you just momentarily, but we've got a caution counter for both series. Surprisingly, not surprisingly. I mean, we were both there for that race at Nashville Fairgrounds that brought that average up for the Cup Series. But you look at the average overall, this series, and how many cars they have on the racetrack, it's impressive to see how long they can go on a green flag run.
We'll see what they can do again. We didn't really get through green flag pit stops before we had our first one of the night. We made it roughly 40 laps, as we'll wait and see if we can get more than 40 laps in this next time by. You'll have a lot of drivers on older tires battling each other at the rear of the field, really 20th on back or somewhere around there, all on older tires with wave rounds. So their strategy, if someone can make a 1-stop work like the 48 might be trying to, those 2-stoppers might be in trouble, especially those drivers who got caught a lap down, had to take the wave, and were not able to really put any more fuel in it. So they're definitely committed to 2 more pit stops, while maybe some others are going to make it close as Jeff Wright and Stravado, excuse me, not Jeff Wright, Stravado and Banks and Ortega all go flying at it too. That got really tight.
And really, they go even worse into 3. Ortega had a door check there from the 15 of Alex Bell. Kind of pinched down on the entry of this corner. Side by side still through the tri-oval. Just in front of him, Banks goes to the outside. We're looking at 3 wide through 1 and 2.
Banks trying to get to the right rear of Stravado, but now he gets Turner instead, and I think Bailey knew that was a no-win situation, so he's just going to let the 35 and 33 go, and Joshua Banks going to pick up 2 for 1. He's climbed all the way from 19th with a yellow to get into the top 5 now, make that top 4.
Gets clear of the 33, gets a 2 for 1 in this lap, and lap 54 underway. Banks up to the top 5. Laps continue to tick away here. Go back for our first side-by-side in this 3 wide situation. There's Taylor Butcher Benjamin. How about that? Up 19 positions from 30th.
The one benefiting from that yellow along with Nick Wood. So both those drivers made it to the top 15 because of this strategy play and because of that well-timed yellow. Butcher Benjamin's going to try to get this spot away from Lagadas, who had a few close calls at the beginning of this race. Got doored a few times from what I saw, but 50 car still looks clean, but not looking so good as far as top 15 goes.
The 15 got loose. 3 wide.
I think he and Massey almost had contact as they're 3 wide, and I don't think Butcher Benjamin knew at the right time that they were 3 wide, but that looked like Massey had a huge send there, as I don't think the 15 was ready for it.
Very loose out of that corner, out of 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, lost a lot of ground. The baby on board 15 falls back. He's got a pinch down on the 10 of Benjamin. And The Butcher Benjamin slides up the racetrack a little bit out of 2, and here comes Lakatos.
And he's going to slide down the track just to keep it out of the 50s left front headlight, which was the smart decision. Any sort of contact is probably race ending in a pack this tight, as it looks like that 10 car's gone to the tight side. Can't get out of the corner, can't really get through the center of the corner either. So he's going to start to fade big time here, I would think, as here comes Chambliss, here comes the 39 of Wood. And Eric Hutton's up to 14th as well. He has pretty fresh tires after taking the lucky dog.
Let's take a look
McWhorter.
on board. Oh boy.
McWhorter almost hit the wall back there. Eric Hutton just barely got by Hodges that time, but I was looking at the battle for second that started to heat up as Jeff Wright started to climb back forward.
Just behind Jeff Wright, you got the 35 of Joshua Banks challenging for the 3rd spot. Banksy, the iRacer, looking to be the 2nd repeat winner. Nathan Ferrata looking to be the 1st to go back-to-back in both the Cup Series. He has maintained at least half a second over this field since we went back green. The 07 benefited the best here. He has got a little bit older tires if you want to go off of speed. He had to catch back up to the pace car. Based off what he's doing right now with this clean air, looking really strong here in the first third of this race.
Yeah, looking good so far. We'll see if the 48 starts cutting into that, though, once he's back. Well, now that he's finally back up into the 2nd position after trying to save some fuel. We'll see if that battle gets a little closer, and we'll see if that battle for 3rd has a change. McWhorter's really struggling right now, but Joshua Banks just can't quite do anything about it, as he lost a lot of momentum off of 2. Here comes Travato looking for that position.
He's riding on board with Jeff Wright. He's still on the clutch pedal, still saving fuel. But somehow, even with the fuel save, has maintained a top 5 and now back up to 2nd for the Pepsi 48.
Just means he's using a lot less. He's slowing down a lot less in the corners, though, and I wonder how that's affecting his tires. You lose that engine braking capability. You're going faster into the corner. You're squealing the tires more. Although you're not using brakes, so you're still saving a lot of fuel doing that. So we'll see what the trade-off is, if he's going to continue to be faster than the 07, or at least even with the 07, or if he's going to fade a little harder than we anticipate, or more than we're used to seeing from this 48.
Well, and I can tell you this, if he can make it in less of a stop, right, that's going to pan out to be faster regardless. He's hanging pace with the 07. We're right on that fuel window where these guys have to make it 2 stops, and Ferrata's not saving anything. So right on board with the 07. Doesn't sound like he's clutching it through the corners.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's really doing what the 48's doing right now, and even if they were, I don't think they'd be able to do it as quickly and be as quick as the 48 is right now.
Another 10th off a lap there. You see that lead dwindling down, even with Jeff Wright in conservation mode. Lead is falling down to 4/10 coming out of turn 4.
I think if he wants to make it on one stop, he probably needs to still stretch this about 30, 32 more laps at this point. So he probably still has a decent amount more work to do, but so far so good being this fast while being able to save. He was a little slower than Ferrata, but he's really the only one matching his pace because that battle for 3rd is intense. Joshua Banks finally got it from Joseph McWhorter, but now Stravato's going to try to take both positions.
Set 3 wide entering 3. McWhorter falls back, 35 to the outside of Stravato in the 33. Time around at the Stravato for the 3rd spot. Try the high line again, and entering 1 and 2 on the middle. A little pinch down here on the exit. Looks like Banks is going to take that spot away. Almost contact off of the corner. Hold it true here down the backstretch. Side by side for 3rd, side by side for 5th.
And here comes Bailey Turner. He was good on the long run. He's now starting to inch up, try to get by McWhorter, who once again just doesn't have the long run pace that his teammate Whitley did, and Whitley even fell off at the end. but that 73 just struggles to even keep any sort of pace up, and I think the same thing's happening again as these two will not stop battling for third, and Banks isn't giving the 33 any room either. He just keeps pinching him to the bottom of the racetrack, hoping he can get enough of a run to clear him, and finally he does.
Looking back in the 15th position, Brian Chambliss was side by side with Hodges just a second ago, on board with the 9 machine. Back to where he started this race. I know it's got to be frustrating when you're mid-pack to start this thing and then you find yourself back in that situation. Unfortunate caution, but the 9 is also on the same strategy as the 48. He is on the clutch pedal.
Yeah, Brian Chambliss has won plenty of races, to my recollection, saving fuel. The only problem is now that he's got multiple seconds to make up. He's 4.5 seconds behind the 48 who's doing the same strategy, so right now, best case scenario, I believe, is second on this strategy. And that's if we go green. Did have a little bit of a spin from Jace Cully out of turn 2 last time by, but no yellow came of it, and he kept it straight. And I do see Mark McFadden just coming off a pit lane, so I don't know if this is a way early stop or an extra stop, but he's finally coming back on to the track. As the 29 just got by Chuck Sweeting for 23rd, and that one of those battles with drivers who took the wave around. Stravado's still hunting Banks, but he can't get back side by side.
We can look back here at the 65. Got him to the outside wall, snapped it free down the back stretch. And just misses the inside wall there.
Yeah, I don't know how he did a good job just swerving at the last second. And he pancaked it pretty good, but the right side actually doesn't look too bad as that battle for third is going to heat up again. Banks did not get a good run off of turn number 2. It's going to allow Stravado to get back to the inside as Massey trying to get by McWhorter, which is now for about the 6th position. As there's a yellow, second yellow on the track, and it's, couldn't tell. Someone spun. Austin Belkey down the back straightaway has crashed.
Peacock also got some damage from that.
93, Rob Denton might have had a piece. That will change anything the 48 and the 9 were doing for fuel strategy. Is 3 wide in the back. That was around 32nd position. They were 3 wide. They were roughing each other up for that spot, and Belkey got the worst of it. A lot of people are probably not going to be happy about where that wreck took place for, but Peacock and Belkey get a lot of damage from it. And Eddie Trejo was kind of in this battle with Bryce Shoemaker as well. This is pretty far at the back as 83 looks 3 wide. Shoemaker cleared both of them, and then Belkey's going to stuff a 3 wide middle. He sees the room. He's going to try to pull a Keselowski and go for it, but Peacock was a little too high up the track and didn't end up working out. So it's our second caution of the night, and this should absolutely bring everyone in for 4 tires. Pretty much everyone's second set of the day.
Down and away for the 35. Look at that for the 33 is Stravado. Murata is going to win the battle off of pit road. Jeff Wright, Stravado, Turner, Banks at top 5. Very tight there for around the 20th position.
I believe Keith Shoemaker gets the lucky dog. He was running 36th 1 lap down. So he might end up being the only, Mark McFadden might end up being the only car running that is any laps down. He's 2 down. It's Peacock and Belkey might not get back out there, but importantly for Ferrata, he keeps the lead, and this should put us in a 1-stop window. I don't think you need an extra stop to get to the end, so any of that fuel saving the 48 was doing out the window.
Shake up on the strategy yet again. But our second caution, Anthony and Ferrata, it's going to lead them into turn 1. Why don't you say we pull up a driver here? Anybody you want there, Connor.
Doesn't matter. Anyone in particular.
We got a bunch of drivers in admins open.
It's only 3.
I can't move anyone from that.
That's okay. None of them are leading, anyways.
Let's bring Joshua Banks up here.
That sounds good to me.
5 Joshua Banks, you got a copy?
I got you, brother.
Well, Josh, you started back in 19th. You probably feel like you passed 1 million cars to get here, but now you're in a situation where, well, the strategy has kind of leveled itself out. Some drivers were on maybe a 1 or 2 stop to finish this out. Now, next caution, you're in a good situation.
Oh yeah. I was kind of worried how that was going to turn out because Auto Cup last week was the same way. We had guys saving fuel and guys taking 2 stops, and I got caught on the 2-stopper and finished 5th. So thankfully, I ain't got to worry about that now. We got a 1 stop. Everybody does it. Go to the finish. So we're just going to try to keep the tires underneath us and try to get up front.
Just a heads up, the camera a little bit blank screen for me tonight. I don't know if it's working or not. I'm going to try to bring it up here. Let's see what it does. Yeah, it looks like
I'm
it's
not
working.
sure.
Give us a wave.
Okay, hello.
Yeah, there we go. It's working. Then we'll back up. Banksy, you're in 5th. What's the shot at the lead here?
I got to keep tires underneath me. If I get too aggressive trying to go for it, I'm going to be falling to the back. So we got to keep tires underneath us, keep the car straight, not slide it, and try to go for it later in the run and go get it that way.
All right, man. Well, good luck out there, and maybe we'll get to talk to you post-race.
All right, let's hope, man. Let's hope. I don't know, man. He's got tough guys up here. It's not my track. We'll try.
Joshua Banks, you ready to go back green? You have moved back already. That was quick.
Yeah. We are all ready for that. By the way, it's you know what we're about to. We are already past halfway. By the way.
Yes, we are. So I think for this one, on this restart, I think we find that volume knob. Let's hear the sights and sounds from Chicagoland. Green flag is out. Let's get loud. Presented by 29 Graphics. Big wreck here for the 39. So we were getting loud with 29 Graphics.
Well, I don't even know what brought out the yellow. We had the 39 wreck, and Joe Spinelli also had a crash off of turn number 2. Brada keeps the lead through all that. We'll see what happened to Spinelli first. He slipped before he even really got to the center of the corner and hard overcorrect, and you can even see with 39 at the bottom of the screen come into play as he had his own issue off of 2 and he hit the inside wall. I think the 86 is what brought out the caution, but both drivers probably going to have damage that hurts their efforts to get a better finish. 39 got loose, and looks like maybe I think he got sideways, and Taylor Butcher Benjamin could not check up in time. He's gonna get sideways right there, gathers it, and yeah, just got a slight tap from the 10. Sent them to the infield and pretty hard hit to the concrete wall on the inside. So that's gonna be almost as hard of a hit as what the 82 of Spinelli took, even though, or the 86 of Spinelli took. Both of them might have their days end.
Loose is Fast podcast 86 is on pit road now. I mean, this change and kind of the tempo of this race. When we get to the halfway point now, this guarantees a one stop from here on out.
Yeah, at this point, if you went the full fuel run, you'd probably still be about 18 laps short, so definitely not cutting a stop out of it. But with so little laps left, if you ran it full, you almost wonder if drivers would take 2 tires if you're only taking 1 can of fuel, as it almost look like we're going to start 3 wide there for a second. Ferrata picks the bottom. Eddie Travado's found his way to 3rd, so he might be a threat to try to get another victory in this series. Really, a lot of players up here that are always full-time, and you have your players on row number 2 that don't run every race, but will always be a competitor for wins. Ferrata Wright, mostly full-time. Travado Turner, kind of just show up for wins, but they do try to run enough races to compete for the title, but they don't always do so.
Well, let's bring one of those drivers up now. We have the 24 of Bailey Turner up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, Bailey, I gotta say that this race has just been thrown through the dryer several times. That we don't know if it's actually done or not. The scenarios have changed. The strategies have changed. What do you got to do here to win this race?
It seems like it may be one of those tire battles. The first 2 runs of the race we had, I was going to pull a little fuel strategy like I did last week, and of course the untimely yellows kind of take that out the window. But yeah, it's going to be really who can get that clean air, who can manage their stuff. You're not going to get those super long runs to the end now where you're really having to conserve the tires over 45 laps. But it's gonna be interesting. I think you'll see a mix of comers and goers and different strategies, and we'll kind of have to see which one works out.
Winningest driver in season 3. How does it feel to say that? You've got 2 wins on the season.
I'm sure there's a guy right in front of me that would love to take that title away. So I'm not gonna jump on that. It's a long season. Hopefully, just gonna be there, playoff time, and at the end of the season to really make a run at it.
Oh, good luck out there, Hutton Motorsports driver. We'll maybe talk to you post-race.
Appreciate it.
All right, Connor. That's pretty much what sums it up. He's staying humble here, but he's in a scenario where he could go up there and sneak away with the 3rd.
And I think you take at least the top 5, but if you get all these restarts, you never know what could happen. We'll see how aggressive he wants to get near the end of a race.
So I am definitely going back-to-back here from the Challenger Series to the Cup Series. And Nathan Ferrata do the same as the pace car gets out of the way past the halfway point. 60 laps to go. Green flag is out. Ferrata into turn 1. Trying the line from Kansas.
That was not a good restart. If there is a weakness in Jeff Wright's racing ability, it's restarts, and did not get a good one there, but he hung on to the right rear of Travado just enough to maybe keep 2nd position here.
He's going to hold it up on the outside into the entry at turns 3 and 4. 33 down on the bottom. Level playing field. 10 laps on this stint here. Jeff Wright holds on to 2nd. Side by side with Banks. Teammate Alex Bell on the outside.
And Banks, he's gotten to the top 5, and he's kind of, at least we've only had a few restarts here and there, but he's kind of stayed there really sideways on the inside of the 15. Not able to keep that position, so Bell's going to go up to about the 6th position as he dove to the inside of Bailey Turner, trying to get positioning in the turn number 3, but that 24 is going to be strong pinch to right side door of Bell and keep that spot as Mark Whitley is trying to get back into a top 10. He dove to the apron looking for 3 wide on Miller and Lakatos. Not quite able to get there, but he's still trying to recover from getting trapped a lap down.
Remember, that all happened because of where that caution fell in the first yellow of the night. And since then, it's been one inconvenient yellow after another.
And we had a lead change there. Ferrata did not have a good run off of turn number 2, and Jeff Wright's going to get the lead back. I think Ferrata might have scraped the wall. He's lost a lot of momentum.
7 falls back to the clutches of Stravato as well, and the 33 is going to go by on second position. Here comes Joseph McWhorter now.
Another big slide. He has struggled on the short run here in the 07. He's fading back pretty quickly. He's going to go back now to the 4th position just like that. He was in pretty decent control of this race. I think maybe everyone else considered that it might be go time now, and they're not holding back, so Ferrata's starting to slip back.
Remember, Jeff Wright was in the conservation mode there earlier, which allowed the 07 to lead a lot of laps. Now all the way up by his lonesome on the outside of this top 10. He's going to maintain position in front of the 24 for the time being in the 4th. Go back here a little bit deeper. Eddie Trejo, Dakota Floyd side by side there briefly. You can go all the way through this field and find a side-by-side at any given second.
The one I saw was Jerry Bergeron and Philip Brewer. That's for 17th. Bergeron tapped the wall out of 4, but did not really hurt him at all. He's going to keep that outside line and keep the position. They almost made a little bit of contact there. Eric Hutton, Caleb Butcher-Benjamin, that's for the 14th position. Butcher-Benjamin has the outside on the 88 of Hutton. And even further up, you got Massey and Ortega almost making contact for 8.
Side by side for the 9th position, 8th spot actually. As the 2 goes to the outside line. Gonna hold it up there. Ortega does a good job. Looks like he's gonna clear the 23 down the backstretch. Here comes the 30 of Jeremy Miller for the 9th position.
It's another driver that we haven't talked about since he had to take a wave around, finally clawing his way into the top 10. Even before the first yellow came out, he was not in the top 10, so finally starting to climb a little bit further forward here, getting a push from his teammate in the 50 of Lakatos. Ray Massey just going to give him the high side at this point.
It looks like Miller might get a run here on the outside of Ortega. It closes the door.
Tight racing right now. No
Yes,
one's really giving a lot of room.
This is all for the top 10 right now. Otis just on the edge of that. There's Mark Whitley in the 77. Whitley still yet to recover from where he was earlier in this race.
He's trying to recover by just going where they ain't. He's trying to get clean air on the nose, go even higher than what Lakatos is running. He gets a run, but he's got nowhere to go but to the inside. He's going to swoop down there and just try to get the spot away. He's going to have to kind of fight it out on the inside as Miller cut off the 23 of Massey to get to the bottom of the head. He's going to try to slow up in front of Lakatos, but he has no room to do so because Massey really checked up the corner there. So Lakatos is able to hang on the right rear. Miller's trying to get Ortega for that would be the 8th position as Ferrata continues to slip back. He is still battling for 4th with Bailey Turner.
And choosing that high line, interesting enough. Looks like he's more comfortable up there. Gets a good run on the 24, but has to lift out of it now. Is going to allow Banks to the inside. 35 of Banks to the top 5. Peak to the inside out of 4. Or gets shut.
Yeah, once again, this Banks got here and he's kind of been stalled out since he got up here, and he's got Alex Bell that he finally got back by, but he's not able to get the 07 quite yet, but you can tell he just has a lot more grip off the exit of the corner. Ferrata kind of trying to defend, doesn't know which lane he wants to be in. He's going to make 35 go to the bottom as 3 wide for about 10th position with Whitley, Lakatos, and Massey as those 2 almost mix it up. These 3 are mixing it up out of the corner, and Chambliss and Hutton can only just watch in anticipation of what might happen.
On board with Brian Chambliss, watching this battle in front of him. This is back in 14th. We're just talking about how Brian Chambliss in the 9, he's been a stellar driver in the Challenger Series. Started at 15th, but I mean, based off of his pace right now, his speeds are matching that with the top 3.
Trying to get up there. It would not be surprised if this was the furthest he's been up all race, trying to battle that 88, try to get by him, as every lane seems to be working for other drivers at this point, whether you're bottom, middle, top. If you're comfortable there, it's probably working for you, as Stravado's making that higher line work, or at least he's back to the bottom line this time, but he was making it work, as most people ran the bottom of 3 and 4 that time. Those bumps on the top of 3 and 4 really hinder what you can do up there, but 1 and 2, it's not that bumpy, so that's why you see more drivers running high in 1 and 2 than you ever will in turns 3 and 4. And saying that, everyone inside the top 10 went to the bottom. Mark Whitley, the lone soldier, on the top side that time.
Getting on board with Morgan Cook in the 20th position. Into the wall there. Little mistake for the 54. You can see the 44 Philip Brewer way up high through 3 and 4 ahead of him. These drivers trying to make a surge back to the top 10. Remember, Morgan Cook started up in the 6th position, had the speed in qualifying. Is down 14 spots, just trying to get back up there.
Trying to get back up there, but I don't know if he has the pace to do so. He has climbed back up to 20th, but his progress has been stalled for a while here. Landro Moronis is another one who hasn't recovered from since he's where he qualified. He qualified 5th. He never really was able to stay up there, and he's still back in the 15th position. He just took that from Butcher Benjamin, who's starting to fall out a little bit here as that battle for the lead starts to fade a little bit. Stravado's losing more and more ground to the 48 as Banks goes all the way to the wall through 1 and 2, trying to find some grip, but he's been stuck behind that 07.
He's gonna surge back on the backstretch. Makes up a couple tenths there. It's really high up on the racetrack though through 3 and 4. Highline probably not gonna work as much in 3 and 4 as it does in 1 and 2.
This doesn't seem to be generating enough of a run to make it worth it, so you got to try something different at this point. You got another pit stop, but you have only 45 laps to go, and running in the dirty air is not going to help, so you got to try something.
You look at Banksy the iRacer. Shout out to him. He'll have audio of this broadcast on his personal YouTube channel. Upload these videos periodically. Hopefully you can hear us here in the booth. Connor Horn, Bradley Cooper up in the V-Speed booth. Banks got Ferrata in front of him here, though. That's not the ideal line for either one of these cars. Out of 1 and 2, that dirty air affected the 35 big time.
Well, it was fine for Ferrata because he's starting to try something different, and actually didn't really hurt too bad compared to a 24, but it really hurt Banks because he wasn't anticipating that, and he got all that dirty air on his nose, really ruined any run he would have had on Ferrata because of all that dirty air on the nose. So he might have to really start trying to play a guessing game. That time he kind of went to the bottom, but Ferrata also went back to the bottom, so now he's just kind of like monkey see, monkey do at this point, as everyone's running that bottom line at this point. Ferrata really wiggling the rear end off the corner, but doesn't lose him too much momentum.
Jeff Wright continues to lead, 41 laps led. Now we're coming on lap 99 as he crosses the stripe. 142 laps to go in this event. AJ Stravato, 3/10 back from Jeff Wright, Joseph McWhorter, Bailey Turner, Nathan Ferrata. The top 5. Ferrata finally stops the bleeding. But how many laps did this guy lead? 40 of them. He's the second longest leader of this race. And if you're telling me there's a chance that somebody can go back-to-back in the Cup and the Challenger, this guy right here holds that podium for just an hour and a half ago. I think he has the best chance.
And he might be the only one from that series with a chance right now, as the 9 is 15th and not really threatening at this point, but it's really all going to come down to who pits and who does what if we get to that point during green flag running. We went green flag back to green at about 61 laps to go, so the logic would dictate you'd probably be 10 laps away from pitting, but you will certainly think some drivers are going to test that fuel window, we're going to test that tire life a little bit. Some drivers are going to go long in anticipation of a caution. Some drivers are going to short pit and just try to get the track position for if this goes green. So it'll be interesting in the next 10 to 20 laps, or really the next 5 to 20 laps, of what drivers are going to try to do here. Still got battling all around the racetrack. Morgan Cook trying to get by Threlkeld there in the 12. That was not the 12, that was the 44. Again, 2 Zen cars. Gets confusing as Brewer's 18th, Cook's 19th. Threlkeld is actually back in 27th. He started 17th.
Watching the 51 of Chris Hodges get by the 1 of Gary Bergeron. That was for the 22nd position. Has not completed the pass just yet into 1 and 2. Just behind them, the points leader from the Challenger Series, Dakota Floyd, in 24th. This field started out 39 cars strong. Joe Spinelli down in the pits right now, still getting damage repaired.
Oh.
Nick Wood. You owed me.
Damages.
What happened?
As contact, Ferrata almost got Bailey Turner, but there was contact out of 4. I don't think it hurt either car, but Ferrata, the same way Banks has been struggling to get by Ferrata, Ferrata has now been kind of stuck behind the 24 for a while here. Right there, some slight contact. That wasn't as big of an O as you might have thought, but I thought that 07 was going to go around. He got really rough with the 24's left side door at that point.
Auto will fall back to the 5th position. Actually, he was looking inside for 4th. He didn't fall back any spots. He's maintained a top 5. A different line than everybody else through 1 and 2, and it looks like through 1 and 2, the high line has been rather strong.
It's always going to be at its strongest at that end of the racetrack. 3 and 4, 2 bumpy Jeremy Miller out of shape. He's going to spin down the back straightaway, and the caution is out. Not much damage, but green flag pit stops. Throw that out the window. This could be the money stop for everyone now.
On the inside of Reggie Ortega, we're going to come out of turn 2 sideways.
See the rear end kick out there, keeps it straight. 88 gets to his outside, and 88 kind of came down the track there, and Miller did a good job not coming back up to the traffic. Really interesting. It's one of the rare instances we'll see on the straightaway. Well, technically it's not a straightaway, it's just a backstretch. But definitely looked like Hutton came down, but I wouldn't have thought that was enough contact to spin the 30. But no damage really done to either car, just a lot of pride lost for the 30, because that's a lot of track position to lose at this point of the race with the final stop coming up, as everyone will come down to pit road. Everyone's second to last set of tires. So everyone should only have one more set to use for the last 30 laps.
Jeff right into his stall. Right sides go up. 4 tires and fuel. And away for a few in the back. There's Stravato down and away.
We got second. McWhorter got back up to third, or he stayed third. He was third. And Turner, Ferrata, Banks, Ortega stays put, and Joshua Banks looks like he might have gotten a speeding penalty. Stopping at the exit of pit road. As that would be pretty huge if that was the case. Certainly looks like it. Definitely looked like he just sped. I think it was out of his box where he tried to get too much and realized he got too much. So it's 2 drivers, 2 teammates. Miller goes to the back because of the incident, and the 35 with 30 to go is going to go to the rear because of unforced error on his part.
That's not a good scenario for the 35.
Certainly not, but it's one less driver that the 48 would have to worry about. So in his case, I think he'd be okay with it. Same goes for Ferrada, who's been being hounded by Banks this entire previous run. It's going to put Ortega in 6th, and Alex Bell, Eric Hutton, Case Lakatos, and Mark Whitley in the top 10. But 2 top 10 players taken out of that battle for the time being, just like that.
That puts us with about 30 laps to go for this restart. Connor, I gotta ask you, you said go time. I mean, we know that you don't have to stop from here on out, but do you save anything here for these final 30?
I think you gotta really make sure you go on this short run. I don't think you really have time to save much, especially if you're the 33. Because I think your only chance to beat Jeff Wright is to push him a little bit harder than he wants to go and just hope he makes a mistake. I don't think you really get him any other way. So I think now's the time to go.
About to find out. 39 of Wood is going to get the wave around. We'll double back up here on lap 108. I think the green flag. 109, 32 laps left in this race. Watching the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series on V-Speed. If you're enjoying this action, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You'll never miss a single race. Only 30% of you have hit that subscribe button. I'd like to get that number up a little bit. We have over 1,400 subscribers to V-Speed. We average about 2,700 viewers per week. As simple as clicking that button at the bottom of your screen and turning on those notifications. You'll never miss a single race as we go live on days that end with Y. Alec Cooper and Connor Ward up in the booth with you. We've got other producers and commentary teams throughout the week. Plenty of racing going on with Eddie Smith and Morgan Cook, Logan Threlkeld, Christian Hill. Let's find out. Saturday Night Racing back live at Chicagoland.
Say it all the time, key on these late race restarts is just getting out ahead of everything, and 48 did a good job doing that. Travato's able to keep 2nd. Turner's going to look for 3rd. Alex Bell's going to look 3 wide.
3 wide into 3 and 4. Down to the bottom for Alex Bell. This is for the 5th spot. It's tight out of 4.
Oh, spin. Someone slid into pit lane. There's a crash out of 4. Another caution's going to come out. And the green car in the wall is Benjamin Richards. I saw sliding to the apron was Matthew Radford. But he actually kept it straight. No damage. But Richards, 56. The Super gets the worst of it. Radford hit the apron and just spun on his own. I think the 56 reacted to that and came up the track right into the path of Bryce Shoemaker. Wide, trying to make up ground. It's past Radford. Radford's gonna hit the apron right there and just never got the car back under him. Richards comes up the track to avoid him, and 43 is right there in the path.
I mean, it was chaos in this restart, though. From 20th on back, it was just chaos.
Shoemaker hit the wall there. He kind of followed Threlkeld into it, but he just kind of hit it a little harder, really. And yeah, he just gets pinched into a wall. Nothing he could really do. at that end of the racetrack. So really only main notable change for position is Bailey Turner got to the 3rd position through that. McWhorter dropped the 4th. Alex Bell 6th. Ferrata's now back to 7th as he continues to kind of fade out of this battle for the win with every position he loses.
We're trying to keep the AC flowing here in the studio. It's getting rather toasty here. 7 cars still on the racetrack. Jeff Wright takes back the lead around lap 80. He's continued to lead here. Since then, haven't seen anyone contest him. We've seen a few different guys that have been in and out of this top 5, but the consistents were Bailey Turner and Reggie Ortega in the 2 car. That's a driver I'm looking out for right now. Got a lot of speed here in the later half of this race. He was quick there in the first half, but really he's turned it up. I'll look to see the 2 car maybe end up with the top 3 to finish this thing out.
We'll see if he can get up there. He's got to make some pretty hard passes. It's not easy getting by the 24 or the 73. Certainly not easy passes, but he's another one who had a good restart there. Like you mentioned, he's gotten up into the top 5. He's pretty much been running in that 6th to 8th range really all race. So this is definitely speed that he's been looking for at these types of tracks especially. And see if he can get anywhere closer. We're going to restart probably 26 laps to go. So if you get a few more good restarts, anything could happen.
Well, let's find out here on V-Speed. You're watching the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series presented by M&J Distributors. A quick commercial break, and we'll bring you uninterrupted coverage right after this.
Racing enthusiasts, are you ready to take your sim racing experience to the next level? Look no further because 29 Graphics has got you covered. Introducing 29 Graphics, the premier provider of high-quality sim racing wraps. Whether you're a professional racer or weekend warrior, our custom design wraps will make your car stand out from the competition. 29 Graphics is now the official graphics design partner of Saturday Night Racing League.
It's a big dive. McWhorter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, they put him in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash.
Contact 29 Graphics on their Discord or the link in the video description.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426.
5 cautions and 4 lead changes. We're back here live at Chicagoland. Jeff Wright's going to lead him into turn 1. There's a big wreck in the back.
Oh, man.
Rob Denton gets sent to the grass here.
I think Denton got a boot from someone, and Jeremy Miller got caught up in that as well. That actually wasn't that big of a crash as it looked.
The big check up here on the inside.
This is the 65. It was Jace Cully who made contact with Denton. I don't really Did not really see the reason why that happened. Looked like a clean restart.
There's the checkup here on the inside.
Let's see, speed up a little bit, slow down there. And then looks like they start kind of going around there. Then they have to stop, and 65 isn't ready for it. So someone started going when they weren't going and kind of caused that. So Denton, I don't know, Denton and Miller seem to be the only ones to really get damage out of that. Somehow they were able to make it work and not get more than that. McWhorter loses another spot there, by the way. Ortega gets 4th. McWhorter back to 5th. Somewhere around the 54 and 75, somewhere around that row, they start going when they're not going, and it causes that to happen. And Miller and Denton are innocent bystanders. Even the 65 of Cully is an innocent bystander in it too, because there's not much he could really do and all that.
This is taking the laps away. I know Jeff Wright is in a scenario where he absolutely loves what he's seeing right now. He wants this race to go all the way down to the very wire, because that gives less chances for drivers behind him to have a pass. And, you know, you can't pass under caution. You're going to have limited laps. We're going to get probably near 20 to go when we go back green. Jeff Wright's proven that he is definitely fast enough for a 20-lap stint.
I mean, I think he's fast enough for a 40-lap stint, too. He seemed to be the fastest on the long run, or last time we had one, which is really the very first run of the race. And it's actually pretty rare not to even get a full green flag pit stop cycle in, as he's going to fake in the pit road. Don't expect anyone in the pit unless we get a 10-lap run or so, but I think at this point, if you're Bailey Turner or AJ Stravado, by the way, Stravado did lose that second spot because of how that restart played out. So Turner's second, Stravado's third, but it would just take a superhuman reaction time to beat the 48 at this point. I think if he just keeps getting, if we keep getting yellows and he keeps getting restarts and keeps getting good enough launches to clear by 3-4 car lengths, he's not going to be touched.
We'll have to wait and see here as we accumulate 120 laps here before the restart. I know these drivers that are up here in the top position, we haven't been able to pull Jeff Wright down here. I have to see if we can get a word with him up there in the admins only chat. Not able to pull him down. Very locked in for the 48 team. He's got the 09 Chad Klinger up on the box. I would assume they're probably playing a little strategy throughout this race. Now just coaching them through to the finish, because that strategy has been thrown out the window.
Yeah, it's going to take something for sure. I just don't think you beat the 48 in a straight up brawl. So someone would have to really do something aggressive to rattle Jeff Wright at this point, as trying to get his way back into the battle for the battle for the points lead. He's looking like he's going to close in on Alex Bell and Whitley. He might not take the lead necessarily, but he'll certainly be pretty darn close to doing it. He's actually going to pick the outside this time.
In the start on the outside of Bailey Turner, Reggie Ortega just behind him. To see how this restart goes. Got 21 laps to go here, Connor. Is there any standout outside of Jeff Wright that you project that could win this race?
I would say really the guys who are in the top three, Turner and Stravado, I think they're going to keep alternating second and third. And I think it's really going to come down to one of those two being able to make some sort of move on the 48. Or Ortega is going to get the jump from restarting behind the race leader, but I think really those two on the bottom are the drivers with the best chances at rattling Jeff Wright.
Here we go. go for the 7th time today. Green flag is out. Jeff Wright gets a jump. Haley Turner, AJ Stravado on the inside. Wright's going to go down and block it.
Oh, Jeremy Miller spun again at the back of the pack. Him and the 56 of Benjamin Richards crashed hard into turn number 1.
And more laps tick away here with another caution.
Miller gets a run, goes to the bottom. There's contact with Richards, and Richards hit him back, I guess, and they drove each other hard into the outside wall. Probably on both of their nights. I don't know what that was about. They're going, and they kind of stop again, and so Miller kind of gets his run, and it's a fully legal restart. Oh, Miller kind of came up. I don't know, really weird incident. That's 2 straight incidents on restarts as well, but we didn't even make it to turn 1. As Bailey Turner faked pit entry, he's not going to, but that puts Turner back to 2nd and Stravado 3rd. And Reggie Ortega might have gotten 3rd out of that thing, so that puts Stravado in 4th.
Where is Reggie Ortega?
So he's somewhere. He's in that admin chat, that's for sure. He's running 3rd. Lucky Dog, that is Bryce Shoemaker going to Lucky Dog, so he's back lead lap. And Nick Wood is running 3 laps down. He's the only other driver running that is laps down now.
I'm trying to find a driver that's up here in the top 5.
You got 2 of them in the 2 of them in the admin chat, so that's probably your struggle.
Yeah.
This is collusion. You have 2 admins in the top 5. This is rigged.
I think we bring up AJ Stravado, Button Motorsports driver in the 33. You got a copy?
Yep, I got a copy.
Well, AJ, you're sitting here in the 4th position. It's been restart after restart here in the later half of this race. What's your opinion, though? Do you have anything for these guys if we go green?
You know, if we had a long green flag run there, we definitely would be able to get to them. Every single time, though, we are about to get a long green flag run, and I start reeling in Jeff or reeling in people in front of me, we just get a caution. So it's a bit frustrating because I got a little bit more long run pace than short run pace, but I can't expect anything less. Just gonna get what we can.
Well, you're sitting here in the 4th position. You got Reggie Ortega on the outside here for this next restart. Do you look to try to get a podium out of this at the very least?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely give them all. It's gonna be tough though because Jeff and Reggie are in the same Discord and picking lines together, so they're definitely gonna be on the hot pedal together. So it'll be interesting to see how me and Billy fire off here.
Well, AJ, anybody you'd like to shout out here before we double back up?
Just all the league admins, V-Speed 29 Graphics, and my road team Project Valorous on the car, and my oval team, ironically not running an oval car, but my oval team Nexus Esports.
Appreciate your time, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Titan Motorsports driver AJ Stravado in the number 33. Well, I was able to find somebody in the top 5, Connor.
And he is now back to the 4th position. And now he will not get the jump on the 48 because now the 48 is going to go back to the bottom of the racetrack. It's just about getting a lap in at this point. But we'll see if the 48 can just get these jumps. That's all he really needs to do at this point. We would need a green flag run of at least 10 laps here for anyone to even consider pitting.
Yeah, I don't that's going to be a scenario at this point. I don't think it's going to happen.
Just have to find out.
Jeff Wright, Bailey Turner, Reggie Ortega, AJ Stravado, Joseph Lakewater on that top 5. Nathan Ferrata, Alex Bell, Eric Hutton, Mark Whitley, and Casey Laconis to the top 10. 16 to go when they take the green flag. Jeff Wright has had a dominant day so far. He knew he was good at Chicagoland. Gonna get win number 3 and season number 3. Green flag is out. Let me have that one. I don't even know where I was going with the statistics on that, but I can tell you this: Jeff Wright down the backstretch got one heck of a restart. Reggie Ortega challenged by Turner.
Drokald's into the grass. He has a spin that has not brought out the caution this time. As Jeff Wright's going to keep the lead. Ortega and Turner are going to be side by side for second, but Drokald spins and there's no caution. Going to get it back going. Right, probably one of the leaders are getting ready to come around as these two stay side by side. Oh, they're going to make contact into turn number 1 for that runner-up spot. McWhorter, Stravado going to be side by side for 4th. Ferrata's running the top. They're 3 wide in the background for 6th.
That was some heavy contact between the 88 and the 15.
They got away with it for the time being. Oh, more cars in the wall. Someone really hit it hard that time and lost a lot of track position. I think that was Ray Massey who's going to drop back big time as they're banging doors again for a second. Ortega and Turner. Stravado's looking 3 wide to the top but can't get there. Oh, car in the wall. Ferrata's in it. Big crash into turn number 3. And somehow it was only 2 cars, but it was pretty big for being 2 cars. Another caution. Whitley's recovery drive comes to an end. This is really the last chance to take tires. They'll get sideways. Whitley off the track gets sideways. This is a lap of 4.
Yeah. Going back, looking at the 15 there. Across the nose of the 88. But we're going to come back around out of turn 2. This is everybody sending it for all it's worth.
Yeah, that's certainly what it was. I mean, everyone was going all over the track. I thought Ortega and Turner were going to crash. But Whitley gets sideways here. Sees a hole. I think he gets up. And Ferrata and him crash, and they're going at it under caution. Ferrata not happy, or it's actually Whitley not happy with the 0-7. They just had contact under yellow. As Ferrata's going to pit for damage. But Mark Whitley was not happy with how that went down. We were looking at it live. It looked like Whitley went for a gap, and Ferrata had a run. He just didn't lift. Kind of, clearly there's a difference in opinion.
We love to see her on V-Speed, huh?
And Alex Bell almost got caught in the crossfire. I think he got confused, actually, and almost pit. That shuffles up the top 10 a little bit. Puts Hutton 7th, Lacotis is 8th. Ryan Carwile, we haven't talked about him all night. He's in the 9th position. Now Brian Chalmers is 10th. And Morgan Cook is going to be in the 11th position, I believe. I might be counting that wrong, but...
No, you're good.
These guys borderline top 10 at this point. Alex Bell also got some damage out of that. He actually has pretty decent right front damage, but not enough for him to pit. He also got rear end damage. So he's just got something he's going to have to deal with on these late race restarts.
You get a good look at the right side of this machine. You can see that right front. When he enters into turn 1, we'll get a camera on that right rear. Looks like it's mostly right front here. It's right in the center of the back.
That's
that rear end damage.
top end speed and downforce in the corners is going to be lower. And that's going to be really tough to deal with on a late race restart. We're going to have people on your bumper getting you aero loose as well. So that's going to be tough to deal with at this point in the race. But at this point, he has no choice.
Logan Threlkeld has taken an early exit to this race. Ace Cully, Kyle Peacock, Austin Belkey. Bob Denton is 14 laps down in pit road. Joe Spinelli also 38, actually 52 laps down. Benjamin Richards on service for pit road. Nathan Ferrata is also parked it for the night.
Not surprising that thing looked totaled. And attrition rate is going to pick up a little at the end of this race. Belkey, Peacock, Spinelli, Denton. Denton's actually smoking up pit lane. He's definitely not re-entering this race. Jace Cully, Benjamin Richards, Logan Threlkeld, and now Nathan Ferrata. So about 8 cars out of this race. Get another restart. This one's going to be 9 to go. Now Jeff Wright's going to go back to the top. He just keeps switching it up at this point, maybe just for fun. But that should give Stravato the advantage on this restart.
This doesn't play into the favor of Ortega. He's been using the 48, but he does have that front row advantage. Interested to see if Ortega can match the speed here on this restart. Jeff Wright probably gonna count it down for him to give that little bit of delay to guarantee that he gets a jump. This is about to be really close with under 10 to go.
It's all about timing. You just get that one perfect restart, you got a chance at it. And if you get side by side with him and someone starts sliding, especially if someone starts sliding while the leaders are going to a corner, if you're Reggie Ortega, you just full send it in the corner. At least that's what I would do. Anything to try to get that timing and scoring to put you in the lead at the time of caution.
Green flag and 9 laps to go. They cross the stripe. Here we go. Jeff Wright into turn 1. Ortega did not get the jump. He's got the inside on the 33.
Just needs to full throttle out of the corner and just squeeze him out. He's not going to have to. Stravato lifted. Ortega to second. Side by side for third. 15 tapped the wall a little bit.
Here comes a 24 Billy Turner for the second spot.
He was much better out of 2 than Ortega was. And he had a much bigger dive into the corner in turn number 3. He's going to keep him side by side.
Reggie Ortega trying to get his first top 3 of the season. It's the run off of 2. Wow. Here comes the 33 of Stravato.
Turner just couldn't hold it down on the bottom and give Stravato a chance to cross him over a little bit. They're 4 wide at the back of the pack. Meanwhile, they're going to try and sort that out, as thought I saw the 29 sliding, but they were 4 wide way at the back. And there they go. There goes Jonathan Smith. Will that bring out the caution? I don't think it will. Oh, that big crash. That's going to bring out the caution. There was a car up and over to turn number 1. Banks is in it. Shoemaker's in it. In the car I saw go upside down was John Sinu. Caution is out. It continues. As that started with whatever happened with the 4 wide Jonathan Smith spun, and then it ended in turn number 1, and that was interesting. That was Sinu. I guess he technically didn't flip, but he went flying. And that just looked like a miscommunication. Banks was going to the bottom, and Sinu didn't really turn for the entry to the corner. And about the 3rd or 4th incident Bryce Shoemaker has been in. I'm not even sure if Banks knew he was going to be on the right rear of the 28, but
I think he got sent there. If you look there on the outside, we'll back this up one more time, but if you look here on the outside with the 43, I think he got
Yeah,
hit.
I think he might have gotten tapped a little bit there. I don't know if that changes Banks's intent into a corner as far as getting to the bottom, but definitely contact there. See, he's got a run on the 28. He's, I think, there at this point. I'm not sure if that changes what he does that much. A decent amount of good drivers who had good runs are not going to get the finishes they deserved. Wigley had his recovery. He is still on the track, but he's back in 20th. You had Miller quite back to the top 10. He's 26th. 35 is out of the race now after running top 5 for a decent amount of this race. And also Ferrata, who's going to finish poor. So that's 4 really fast cars, all with top 10 speed, that are not going to end up even coming close to finishing there. Besides maybe the 77 if he gets lucky, as 28 hit so hard he lost his suspension.
I know I said it was going to be uninterrupted, but we take one more brief commercial break and try to sort this all out. You're watching the Saturday Night Racing League live on V-Speed, the Cup Series presented by M&J Distributors. Racing left to go. We're approaching that overtime mark. Our coverage continues right after this.
Racing enthusiasts, are you ready to take your sim racing experience to the next level? Look no further because 29 Graphics has got you covered. Introducing 29 Graphics, the premier provider of high-quality sim racing wraps. Whether you're a professional racer or weekend warrior, our custom design wraps will make your car stand out from the competition. 29 Graphics is now the official graphics design partner of Saturday Night Racing League.
It's a big dive. McWhorter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, he put him in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash.
Contact 29 Graphics on their Discord or the link in the video description.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
It's a natural green-white checkered, as Connor Horn just announced to me. 138 laps. We're going to take the green at 139. We'll come back around for the white flag. We still have 3 green-white checkered attempts at our disposal. Connor, I tell you what, man, if you would have told me this race was going to come down to the wire like this, Reggie Ortega, Jeff Wright on the front row repeatedly. We got a lot of racing left to do. 2 drivers behind him here on this restart that are trying to get repeat wins. Green flag is out.
Ortega really did not go there either. It's going to give Travado the chance to get second here.
How about McWhorter? He's going to get third here in the inside of the 2. Travado not quite clear there, but he self-clears out at 2. White flag next time by.
I was going to send it, try to get the 48's bumper, loosen him up, and get him scared of anything to put him off his game, but not quite close enough to get actually alongside. White flag's out.
White flag in the air one last time around at Chicagoland. Jeff Wright with his dominant day of 83 laps led out of the 140. We're going to finish this race under regulation. Side by side in the background, that's Eric Hutton and Casey Lakatos. Morgan Cook on the inside for a top 10. Brian Chambliss just ahead, but out of turn 4 for the final time. Jeff Wright is going to be victorious in race number 8 of season 3, Chicagoland. About that for the 48 car.
Pretty dominant. We didn't even have that much green flag running, but the time we did have green flag running, he had pretty good long run speed. Didn't even really need to worry about pit entry under green tonight, and pretty much dominated restart after restart after that. Got track position when it mattered at the right time.
A little bit under the weather for the 48 here tonight. Heard him there in the Challenger Series. He wasn't feeling the greatest, but that's not going to keep him from getting a victory here at Joliet, Illinois. Burning it down on the front stretch. This race interviews with your top 3, those final results coming up. You're watching the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series on V-Speed. Commercial break while we gather up that information. We'll be back.
What's up, everyone? I am Joshua Banks, driver of the number 35 Matco Tool Supra.
Banks, he's going to send it to the inside. They're 3 wide for the race lead. They're going to so Banks is going to win it. Unbelievable.
And also co-owner of M&J Distributors for the sponsor of Saturday Night Racing. So I just want to thank every single one of you for tuning into tonight's race. I hope you will put on a good show for you guys. I hope that you will enjoy it. So if you do, make sure you drop a thumbs up to V-Speed and subscribe to them, because they, as y'all know, if you haven't already, they put on some great broadcasts. So I'll make this short and sweet. The main reason for sponsoring Saturday Night Racing League is because I've been with these guys for a long time. I've raced with a lot of them. I've been through some rough times, some good times, and arguments and everything like that. But still, grand scheme of things, been through a lot of these guys, and I really do like where this league's going. I want to support it. They've given a lot to the league already, and I think, you know, I'm capable to support back. So that's what we're doing, and we want to keep this league free, you know, for people to join, to have a good time, come in and race and just have fun, you know, and that's what we're all about. So that's the main reason, and that's all I really have to say about it. So I hope you do enjoy the race, enjoy the season coming up. We are hopefully going to put on a great season for you guys. Also, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Banksy the iRacer. Link will be in the description. Check out, and you can see my point of view, see what's happening on my end. If you want to watch it, it's completely fine. If not, no big deal. So come on over, hang out after the broadcast of this race, and hopefully we'll see you over there. If not, enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on track.
Lap traffic out of the way. It's between these two. They're even for the white flag round.
This race still very undecided.
Bradley had the lift. Big run for McWhorter. This is going to be his chance.
They're running out of time, and they know it.
Cavano surges to the inside, now pulls even with Hutton off of turn number 2.
900 horsepower at their feet.
That was a huge run for Bradley. He got back the advantage, but here comes a big dive. McWhorter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, they put him in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash. Here comes Ray Massey. Ray Massey's going to win it.
Racing enthusiasts, are you ready to take your sim racing experience to the next level? Look no further, because 29 Graphics has got you covered. Introducing 29 Graphics, the premier provider of high-quality sim racing wraps. Whether you're a professional racer or weekend warrior, our custom design wraps will make your car stand out from the competition. 29 Graphics is now the official graphics design partner of Saturday Night Racing League.
It's a big dive. McWhorter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, he put him in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash.
Contact 29 Graphics on their Discord or the link in the video description.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes Build Events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Back live at Chicagoland Speedway, and the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series concludes their 140 laps. Jeff Wright is victorious after a showdown, a natural green-white checkered to end this race. Oh, that's, there we go. 9 cautions, 4 lead changes. AJ Stravato, Joseph McWhorter get the top 3, and we'll word with them in just a moment. Reggie Ortega, who restarted in the 2nd and 3rd spot several times there to finish it out, he falls back to the 4th position just outside that podium. Bailey Turner gets a top 5 to finish out the day. Alex Bell will finish in the 6th spot with Casey Lakatos in 7th. Eric Hutton struggles and fights his way up to the top 10. He'll finish out in the 8th position. Ryan Carwile in 9th. And Brian Chambliss will finish 10th.
And right behind the top 10, Morgan Cook gets to 11th. He started 6th, recovered to that almost at least. Taylor Butcher Benjamin 12th. Dakota Floyd, didn't talk about him all night. He finished 13th. Good run for him. Same thing with Chuck Sweeting. Turns out when we don't talk about him, he has a quiet night, but it's 14th place. Christopher Hodges 15th. Baronis never lived up to that 5th place starting position, finishes 16th. Mark Whitley almost got back to the top 5, crashed late with Ferradas, 17th. Jared Bergeron 18th. Ray Massey had a lot of damage, but he got 19th. And Philip Brewer rounds out the top 20 in the top half of the field.
Eddie Trejo will go in 21st position with Matthew Rafford 22nd. Then it goes to the 23rd spot of Jonathan Smith. Max Koss 24th here tonight. Keith Shoemaker 25th. Mark McFadden 26th position. Then it goes with Jeremy Miller 27th. Nick Wood in his debut here in SNR will finish 28th. Joshua Banks, tough break for him. He'll finish 29th. And 30th goes to John Sanu, also a tough break for him.
Yeah, some other drivers who had better runs than where they finished. Bryce Shoemaker 31st, and Nathan Ferrata led a bunch of laps, only finishes 32nd after the crash with Whitley. Logan Threlkeld 33rd. Benjamin Richards 34th. He was taken out in that crash with Miller. And then that is Cully in 35th. That is Jace Cully 35th. Rob Denton 36th. Joe Spinelli 37th. Kyle Peacock 38th. And the final finisher, Austin Belkey in 39th.
And so now we catch up with your top 3 post-race interviews with your 3rd place finisher. Joseph McWhorter is caught up. Connor Horn is down on pit road with him.
I do have McWhorter. Joseph, is kind of up and down day for you. Pretty decent short run, fell back, long run. Then we had a bunch of restarts, and you were going from 6th to 4th to 2nd, 3rd. You're everywhere, but end up with a 3rd place finish. You didn't get any laps tonight, but you had a solid run for sure. What was that last half of the race like with a lot of stop and go?
Very frustrating because like I was in third and Bailey was pinching me down, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna check up and then try to get to his right rear corner, kind of do it back so I can clear him like I did earlier. Well, then the caution came out as soon as I let him by to try and set him up. Well, then that lost me a row, and then AJ didn't get a very good start, so that lost me another row, and then it was just bad restarts on the inside, and then I just couldn't go anywhere. As soon as I get the momentum built back up, the caution would come back out again. I was like, dude, can't do anything. Then finally, I was so glad to see that Jeff picked. I was surprised Jeff picked the inside there on that final restart, especially with AJ being right behind him. So that kind of was a blessing in disguise to get us up there. So yeah, I mean, good night. We kind of needed that after the internet went out last week and put us real close to the cutoff line, only 17 of the good. So that puts us back in the right direction. I just wasn't very good tonight. I tried like none of the tricks that I know here worked. Like none, like I couldn't split lanes like I did last season. I couldn't, I couldn't really do the same things that I used to do with the brakes. I ended up trying to what I ended up doing was I kind of adopted a little bit of like an Atlanta, Kansas kind of hybrid line through both sides, and it seemed to help. And I ran third that whole long run that we had. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm missing on speed. I feel like I tried saving. I was there behind Jeff, tried saving on that first run, and it backed off, let Mark go, and I let a few others go, and was like, I'm just gonna kind of chill for a little bit, and then I just was terrible. I don't. I. It seems like everybody was able to run a lot harder than I was tonight, and it didn't. Like even with me saving, I couldn't really do anything. So I don't know. I just I need to find some speed. I suck.
Well, I would disagree with that. You are literally the reigning series champion, but definitely a little bit tough to pass tonight. But you still got a P3 out of it, so not a terrible night altogether. And anyone you want to thank, shout out for this performance?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, it didn't help with the passing tonight because it cooled off from 119 from the end of practice all the way down to 101 by that last call or by that last restart. So that didn't help anything at all. The top just went away. But yeah, I want to thank harpoondesign.com. Make the beautiful paint scheme you see each and every week. Red Camel Racing, go check them out at redcamelracing.com, whether it be racewear and flame retardant workwear. Go check them out again at redcamelracing.com. Driven Motorsports, my new sponsor, Outlier Speed Co. I think is what it's called. I'm still trying to learn all that stuff with their new stuff. So, really excited to have them on the car. Their setups are really fast. We ended up winning 2 races last week at the Roval. So, good to have speed with those guys. Come off swinging first out of the first 3 races. You guys for putting on a broadcast each and every week. Sorry that it got a little rough there at the end of the race, but I think we put on a pretty good product for the most part. The admins for all the hard work and all the drivers, and ready to go into wherever we are next week.
Just McWhorter P3 gets closer to the battle for the points lead. Thanks for talking to us, Joseph. Good run. See you next week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Hopefully see you guys.
Yes, sir.
And with that, we move on to our second place finisher, AJ Stravato in the 33. We had him up here during the race, but AJ, you're able to get back up into the top 3. Just needed a few more laps. I think a green flag run, like you said there in our interview, I think this 33 had some long run pace tonight. AJ Stravato, you got a copy? Hold on 1 second. We'll see if we can sort this out. What about now?
Nah, I can hear you. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, for whatever reason, Discord just not agreeing with us, but we were talking about the long run pace during that caution break. It felt like if this race went green, maybe the 33 gets to victory lane.
Yeah, that's what we were hoping for, but unfortunately, in the other side of things, I kind of need a little bit of luck, and people not reckoning for 30th or whatever the hell that was going on back there. But is what it is. At least we were able to maximize kind of what we were able to get on those restarts at the end. You're not going to beat Jeff on those short runs. He's just so damn quick, and he's not going to make a mistake. And just like I said, happy to get second. Unfortunate Bailey was unable to get third behind me and kind of got caught up on that restart shenanigans. But all in all, good time. Just Wish we didn't have those cautions at the end, man. Can't lie. We had good pace on the long run.
Yeah, we saw it too. You guys had pretty much countered everything that went on. You kind of fell out of the top 10 there at one point, but raced your way back up into the top 3. Take us through a little bit. We had talked to McWhorter there in third place. What was the track change there? The temperature had dropped. It seemed like the track had changed tremendously towards the later half of this race.
Well, honestly, it was more be honest, that's a great question and observation. It's honestly really interesting. It was more the setup. The setup would fire off a little loose, tighten up, and if you're able to save your tires or just, not shore your right front, the car kind of transitioned to loose phase like the last 10, 15 laps of the run. And that's where we're really making up time. Honest to God, I love a car that drives off the right rear, but just would get cautions around those times. So just hard to capitalize on that. Just got to get a little bit better on these short runs here, and maybe we'll have one spot better than the 48.
AJ, second place here tonight. You add yourself to a list of drivers that's probably going to lock themselves in to that top 12 or that chase. Anybody you want to shout out before we let you go?
Just all the league admins for making this happen. 29 Graphics, you guys at V Speed and Nexus Esports, and my road team Projects Valorous on the car.
Thank you for your time, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Second place here tonight, AJ Stravato in the number 33 after starting in 10th. He brings it home, P2. And finally, that brings us to our race winner in victory lane. A little under the weather, but Jeff Wright figures it out. He's going to be victorious. I think I'm seeing some consistency here at Chicagoland, and I know that the last time we were here, this race didn't go according to plan. I know that you got it caught up in some things and put you out of it, but here tonight, everything seemed to go as planned. You get the victory. I mean, you're gonna be the driver right next to Bailey Turner on those repeat wins.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun out there. And last time we were at Chicago, I didn't get to race. I mean, I was sick with the flu, and I had to watch it from the couch. So it's fun to get back out to Chicagoland. I really like this racetrack, and usually this is one of the more multi-groove racetracks tonight. But for whatever reason, it seemed like the top just never really came in like it used to. So. But it was tough out there, man. There was a lot of fast guys to get around. Obviously, Nathan Ferrata led a lot of the, early parts of the race, and he was a really big challenge to run down. He won the Challenger Series just before this, and here he is again, almost winning the Cup Series race too. He definitely had the speed to do it. So he's going to be a guy that's going to be getting some wins here for sure. I could definitely tell you that. And then obviously trying to hold off guys like AJ and Reggie, at the end of this thing. That's never easy to do. But yeah, I'm just glad we came out with one. It feels like it's been a long time, Bradley, since we've been able to capture one of these. These are tough races to win. So I'm just stoked that we finally got one again.
Well, and Jeff, a lot can be said about the talent that you're surrounding yourself with here in the Cup Series. You carry off with 7 different winners or 8 different winners overall. I mean, the talent level in this Cup Series is insane.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you just look at, how many different winners we've had over the past few seasons, not just this year. I know Bailey's our, only repeat winner of the season so far. And obviously he's a threat to win wherever we go. But, just, through all three seasons, we have a lot of different winners. I want to say, maybe upwards of 15 or more. And then, look at the Challenger Series as well that we've been, having. It's been so fun to call with you, Bradley, too. We've been having, new winners every single week. It's Nathan Ferrata was our first time winner. So you're right. There's a lot of talent in this league, and we had good turnout tonight. And, that's just a testament to everybody in this league, saying good things, inviting friends, getting the word out there. Having close to 40 cars tonight. That's awesome, So just super thankful for the amount of, good guys we got in this league. That help, continue to recruit all the league admins, Brian Chambliss, Reggie Ortega, Bryce Shoemaker, Chad Klinger, and especially Chad with the Challenger Series stuff. He's putting in a lot of time, and he's building our setups for us too, Chad and Bryce. So they're taking a lot of time during the week to, get these races ready. So I know a lot of the guys, they thank me a lot and stuff for the league and stuff, but those guys, those other league admins, they do just as much as I do. So I want to make sure, they're getting the credit they deserve as well. So just thankful for everybody involved, and obviously you guys with the V-Speed broadcast, you guys do awesome.
Well, you kind of beat me to the punch there, Jeff, but you went ahead and thanked everybody. I got to say that it is an honor to be a part of this league as well. The talent level has been ever growing, and I mean, we've got so many people that have kind of hybrided their way in from other leagues as well, and I'm glad that the talent pool has continued to grow. Anybody else that you could bring to mind to shout out real quick?
Yeah, I'm going to shout out Reggie. I mean, Reggie, what a drive for him tonight. I always give him a lot of credit for, doing all the spotting and everything for me. And he's not on the racetrack near as much as I am. So to have Reggie come out there, I know he didn't quite get that podium that he wanted, but he restarted on the front row with me those last few restarts. So just shout out to Reggie for keep digging, man. It's tough up here. This entire top, I'm looking through the field of just, recent winners. There's a lot of winners in here. And Reggie, he doesn't have quite the amount of time on his hands to do this as much as he'd like, but that's not stopping him from wheeling that race car around tonight, and he was certainly fast. So big shout out to him on an awesome top 5 finish.
Outside of that, Jeff Wright, congratulations on the victory. We look forward to seeing you next week here in the Saturday Night Cup Series.
All right, thanks, Bradley. Appreciate it.
And with that, we go on to next week. It has been another phenomenal race in the Saturday Night Cup Series. Hope you guys can join us at 10 p.m. as we bring on Richmond Raceway short tracks, as we have Bristol in the Challenger Series. Gonna be a good one. I mean, Richmond has been fun to watch every time we've went there, and I expect nothing less here for the Cup Series. Connor, what are your thoughts as we go into week number 9?
It's definitely a track on iRacing that produces good racing, really no matter what the car track, doesn't matter what the car is, usually just races well. We had great races there in the Gen 4 series where we had kind of fuel mileage come into play, and every race there seems to have a pretty good finish and pretty good racing throughout the field. So I'm pretty excited to see how that plays out. I'm definitely looking forward to how Atlanta plays out. We'll see how the points shake out once we get to Atlanta in November, and we'll see who those 12 drivers racing for a championship will be. And they got to go through Darlington, Bristol, Dega, New Hampshire, and Vegas before they can be crowned champions. So it should be a fun run all the way up to the middle of December.
Of course, that is at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys can join us, hit that subscribe button. You'll never miss a single race. It's getting hot in here. I have all but expended my oxygen in this room. It is weather tight here in the studio. With me, Connor Horn. For everybody at V-Speed in the background that made this possible. And thank Adam Baker for everything that he does. This is Bradley Cooper on behalf of Connor Horn telling you to have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow night at 8:30 for Sunoco Cup Series. Until then, stay tracking. Take care, everybody.